What's up, guys? Hyro, and thank you so much for like minimal views or whatever for right now, but it's all right. One day we'll get there. So pretty much, if you could like and subscribe the video helps me out. I kind of want to develop my channel and grow a little bit bigger with YouTube, and I like to share my story because today's 87 days, tomorrow's 88, but I'm gonna call it 90 days sober on drinking and smoking. So with those two things, what have I discovered through this journey? Anxiety, depression, insomnia. The first month was hell. Like, it's like a roller coaster, goes up, down, up, down. Emotions are all over the place. Um, you know, I was like, I always had anxiety, right? But I also always had some sort of addiction to like suppress it down or like not face reality. And kind of like in a sense, like it was my little escape. Like, well, this is going to make me feel okay. Like I could go to certain events if I have a certain amount of beers. I could like go to parties if I have a certain amount of beers, and I could like talk and really express myself, be the goofy guy that I am. But when you don't have it, you just gotta, like when I realized that I no longer could drink or smoke or do any of my addictions that I used to do. Well, now I had to face the fact, well, like, what am I gonna do now? Like, well, I gotta face situations. I gotta face people, places, and things. And like even going to the grocery store right now with COVID, it sucks. Like I have to wear this mask. And luckily I have something to cover me because to get through some moments, like I'm irritable. That's what I found out. Like I'm irritable and I had anger issues, but a lot of the anger, like now that I think about it in these last couple of like months, I haven't had like much anger, like outbursts for anger. I have had the passion to like increase intensity, like exercising and stuff like that. I've been playing a lot of basketball, and I go on a daily run every morning. And I want to say that's kind of like what's been helping me out. So like that's how I count my days of sobriety. Like I go on my morning run, then I pray, then I get home and cross out the date and put in the new sobriety date on there. So that really helps me out. And that's how I track my sobriety, and that's how I go about that. But like I just stay busy, so like I work out, and the passion for working out, I do want to say it did increase. Before, like, I would hang out on this sofa right here and just kind of like hang out for most of the day because I had like addictions. This video is just gonna be for smoking and drinking, but I had other addictions too. If you guys want to check out my channel, but like I would just stay on the sofa all day and just kind of like be okay with having the hangover or like saying, "Oh, my stomach hurts" and all this. And my stomach did hurt. It was the thing is that I found out that I had IBS or whatever, and my therapy put me on some diet that's been really helping me out with that. Pretty much is just simple, just cutting out dairy and like beef and pork and stuff like that, and just kind of like plant-based diet for the most part. I could have like seafood, stuff like that. So like kind of like a pescatarian diet in a sense. Anyways, it's just peace and love over here. Like I found out that like not having my addictions and stuff, like what was the underlying issue of what was I avoiding? And I came to find out that I was always avoiding myself. And I had to face the ugly part of me, like, well, what about me? Like a lot of it trailed down to my childhood, growing up in poverty with no food, and like my dad never wanted to get on EBT or nothing like that. So like just growing up with poverty and like minimal food and a big family and like living situations, like I had to face all that. And all these memories started coming back. And so like when I talked to my therapist, she's like, well, what's going on? And I just tell her all these things. And she's like, yeah, like, now I got to face the consequences of like the reason why I drink and smoke was to avoid situations or even thoughts. Like I didn't want to think about those moments. But now, honestly, like I'm just getting to a point where like I'm more like before I wouldn't even like fighting, like fights, like confrontations, like I'd avoid them. I'd rather run away from the situation than deal with them. And now that I think about it, that was like really bad for me to deal with it. And now kind of more or less I'm more happier addressing situations and like just dealing with them and getting over with them, saying my even if it like, because I got my feelings back. That's also what happens throughout sobriety. I got my feelings back. So definitely get my feelings hurt here and there, but it's one of those things where like I gotta let people know how I feel, and they gotta let me know how they feel too. And also, not only could I tell them how I feel, but I gotta take how they feel too. And that's something that I grew with this, is like understanding like both sides. It's not just always like what I want, because smoking and drinking, I was always so selfish, you know, like it makes you a selfish person, like when you just think about yourself. But when you let go of that and let go of that chain, that addiction, that, you know, like you lose a lot of that and you start caring for people. And that's what I noticed too. Anyways, reach out, guys. You know, I'm here for everyone. These are just some things I noticed. You know, we're going to definitely hit that 90 days. Today's 87, tomorrow's 88. Like, I have no motive to smoke or drink. I have nothing. I cleaned the house, which means that, like, I have nothing in the house that could get me drunk or high. So, like, I'm going to call it 90 days. If you guys want, I'll even upload this video later. Camera fell, but anyways, I was about to end the video. I love you guys. Peace and love. Mwah. Woo. You know, just like and subscribe.